guys. Let's go. Stacked the likes. Look at that, three concurrent viewers. What up, everybody? Welcome. Let's go. Let's go. All right. I'm excited. I'm excited to see 2 concurrent viewers, 2 likes. Look at that. We've doubled our viewership in the last couple of days. What's up, Carl? What's up, Leonard? Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me pad the numbers. All right, so that's so funny. I'm gonna watch myself. What up, Brian? Let's go. What is this, Brian? I know, dude. I'm a serial show starter. I'm buying Bitcoin every day for at least 30 days. Welcome, Brian. Thanks for tuning in and giving me the extra watch minutes, extra watch hours or minutes. All right, today, here we go. Start the show. Welcome to SATS show, the beginner-friendly guide to saving in Bitcoin. Boom. Today is Stack Tuesday. Right? Yeah, today's Stack Tuesday. We're here. We're gonna try to do this for at least 30 days, Monday through Friday. 8:15 p.m. except Wednesdays. Wednesdays we're doing 8:45 or 8:30, depending on when fish hour's over. Okay, but here we go. So that's what the show is about. It's about demonstrating how easy it is to save a little bit at a time in Bitcoin and why we save in Bitcoin. Okay? But let's get the show started by saying this is not financial advice. It's just an experiment to see if at the end of the 30 days we will have more than the money we invested in Bitcoin or less than the money we invested in Bitcoin, right? And ultimately, it's just an example of how easy it could be. You just put in $5 a day. You could do $5 a week. You could do $5 a month, whatever. It's just the whole point is to motivate you guys to start to learn about Bitcoin and maybe get off of zero. So maybe get interested enough to learn enough about it that you can at least hold more than zero, which is a pretty low bar. It's a pretty low bar. Okay, we're still early in its development, and it's got huge potential. Okay, the risk is very minimal compared to the potential upside. Okay, so with that said, we're gonna jump into the first segment of the show, which is the SAT strength segment. Woo! Fireworks and sound effects. Hey Brian, if you're still in here, I'm gonna try to do these for fish hour. I'm gonna do something like this so we can do segments more easily. Okay, so the SAT strength for today, which means how many Satoshis can you buy with $1? And if it's your first time here and you don't know what a Satoshi is a fraction of a Bitcoin. It's the smallest denomination of a Bitcoin. It's like a penny is a Satoshi is to the Bitcoin as a penny is to the dollar. A dollar has 100 pennies. A Bitcoin has 100 million Satoshi. Okay, so with $1 right now at the current price, you can buy, value of the US dollar expressed in Satoshis, you can buy today 3,617 Satoshis. As the value of the dollar goes down relative to the Bitcoin, or as Bitcoin gains strength against the dollar, this Satoshi value will start to get smaller and smaller. Okay, let me see if I have this other. I'm gonna show you this real quick. This is like, that's like the day-to-day scope. This would be like a long-term. This would be a long-term kind of like a. There it is. There you go. It's like this. 10 years ago, you were able to buy 776,404 Satoshis for $1 10 years ago. That's over here, right? Now, this year you buy, well, this was a year ago. You could buy 3,269 Satoshis for $1, right? And currently it's 3,600. So the dollar has gone up a little bit, relative to the Bitcoin, because Bitcoin dropped so much. Everything kind of dropped so much, all of the other assets. But here's the big picture, right? The value of $1. And back here, you could buy a lot of Satoshis for that same dollar. Now, bring this up a little bit. Yeah. So in 2011, you could buy a lot of SATS for $1. Now, we're in the, was it 5 digits? 4 digits. We're in the 4 digits. So as that trend continues, you'll be able to buy less and less SATs for $1. So that's why we check the SAT strength, just to make a point of it. And yeah, let's move into the next segment, which is why we stack. Why we stack. Why are we buying Bitcoin anyway? Just Bitcoin or altcoins too? Just Bitcoin, Brian. No altcoins at all, because I know the process of learning to get into cryptocurrency is like broad, and alts do have a lot of potential for like gains, but they also have a lot of potential for getting rugged. And Bitcoin doesn't rug. Nobody can add more coins or remove coins willy-nilly like you can with altcoins. So we don't mess with anything but Bitcoin on this show. We're Bitcoin only. Okay. Any altcoins that I do have are because it was before I learned the ways. All right. So here we go. We're gonna jump into this next segment, which is why we stack, the orange pill segment. Here we go. So in case you didn't know what orange pill means, it means that you start to understand the power of Bitcoin and how it can make your life better than the dollar system. Okay. I'm gonna show you guys a little graphic here, and we're gonna talk through this one. Okay, so on this graph, it shows us, or this graphic, it shows us. We'll just take it from the top, and then if you guys have any questions, you can put it in the chat, and then this will be our little educational nugget, little educational bit, the Bitcoin bit, Bitcoin sat, my 2 sats. All right, so this is a cool post by this fellow Jason Lowry, and he is he's a U.S. Space Force MIT graduate, 2023, author of Soft War, and it's pretty much his whole thesis on the Soft War book is explained in this graphic. So let's look at it and analyze it. He says every one of these assets carries a monetary premium that we defend with human lives. So the episode, the title of this episode is Bitcoin is Peace, and this is why. Okay, the chain of custody for these assets is written in blood. So if you have land or real estate, there was war waged to get that land so that you could possess it, right? Same thing with gold, same thing with oil, same thing with equities, right? All of these things that can hold a value are backed or protected and defended with the military, right? And with rules in the form of laws or rule of law. Okay. And that's how those things maintain that value that you're putting into them, right? Is it requires that protection, that defense from the military and from the rules and from laws. Okay. So the graphic here is showing that by moving some of the value outside of those systems and putting it into Bitcoin, so by transporting this monetary premium into cyberspace using a digital synthetic commodity called Satoshis or Bitcoin, right? We replace the cost of human life with the cost of an electrical bill, of an electricity bill, for defending our wealth. So with Bitcoin, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, it is basically the defense comes from having to burn electricity to run the network that basically through mining, right? You need to burn something, and you need to burn something of value in order to give Bitcoin a cost, right? If you could just make a Bitcoin out of the thin air, then it wouldn't be worth anything, right? What gives some of what gives Bitcoin its value is that it costs you electricity to mine and be in the lottery to mint the next block, which could give you some coins, right? So all the people that are running nodes and burning electricity and mining are not only helping the Bitcoin network run, but as more and more people come online, it will produce more hash rate, and then it will also cause the difficulty of mining to go up, which means that you have a smaller chance of being able to win the next block and gain Bitcoin from the network, and also as more miners come on, it secures as more nodes come on to help mine and to run the Bitcoin network. They're running the same copy of the code across all these different nodes, and as the more nodes you have, the less likely you're able to overwhelm the network or to destroy it, because there's so many copies of it that it basically it protects it from ever going away, right? Like at this point, Bitcoin has gotten so big that there's not enough not resources, but not enough, yeah, pretty much not enough resources for any single government or even groups of governments getting together and trying to figure out a way to destroy it. It's impossible at this point. There's just so much hash rate on it already. It's super secure, so that you don't need a military. You don't need laws that somebody can just go and change, right? So military is I'm not against military. I'm just saying that we don't need the military to protect your value when it's in Bitcoin, right? We just need to have a source of electricity and access to the code, which we do. Okay, so let's finish it off with number 3. It says not having to waste human life to defend monetized wealth is worth every watt. So when people say it's expensive or that Bitcoin burns a lot of electricity, you want Bitcoin to burn electricity because that's the cost of protecting. That's the cost of defending that wealth, right? Or that's the cost of protecting that wealth. And if you think of it in terms of just energy, Bitcoin is, yes, burning electrical energy, right? But all of these other assets are taking up other kinds of energy, which is, I think, more precious energy than anything else, right? Like a human life is more precious than electricity, right? So yes, it does burn a lot of electricity, but how much does it cost to protect everything else, right? In human lives, right? We're not measuring the protection of Bitcoin in human life. We're measuring in terms of electricity. So I'll take that any day. Anyway, so if you guys are interested in checking out this this book, or not this book, but this Jason Lowry's info, look him up on Twitter, Jason Lowry, and he's got a cool video on the MIT on YouTube where he explains this chart. I think it's like an MIT lecture. Let me see if I can look it up real quick, guys. I'm gonna give you guys a link, and then we'll just wrap up the Why We Stack segment. Okay, and he does a really good job of explaining it. He goes into more detail. He breaks it down exactly how you protect things physically and have a presence there, like in the water, in the air, on the ground, in space, and then how you do it in virtual reality, right? Not virtual reality, but in cyberspace. Okay, so let me get you guys that link real quick, because that's a really good resource to have. Let me just put this here. So Bitcoin, sorry, send. Lowry. Let's see if I can find this. Here it is. Jason Lowry, Software, MIT Expo 2023. Here it is. I'm gonna get this link for you guys, and I'm gonna put it in the chat, so you guys, if you guys want to check it out later today or whenever, it'll be in the chat. There it is. So yeah, that's what we got for the Why We Stack segment. And now it's time for the next segment of the show, which is the stack recap. Okay, now we're going to look at our current holdings, because in this show, what we're doing is we're not just talking about Bitcoin, we're also buying Bitcoin every day. We're buying $5 a day or $10 a day. If our average buy is below, I'll just bring the chart up. Where's the chart? Browser. Stack this. If our average buy price is lower than the current BTC price, then we're gonna buy $5 worth. Yes. If our average buy price is higher than the current BTC price, then we're gonna buy $10 worth. So today is gonna be a $5 day. Okay, it is gonna be a $5 day. We are actually up about 3% right now. We spent $45.68 so far on this show, and the value of the satoshis that bought us, 178,000 satoshis, is now worth $47.02. Right, so we have about a 3% gain. I wonder if this is oh, this rounds it out. Rounds it up. Let's do that. 2.9%. We get 2 decimals. There you go. 2.93% gain. Okay. So let's check out the price of Bitcoin right now and get set up to do our next buy. Okay. So let's see. We are here. Trading view. I am. Okay. So we bought Bitcoin yesterday here. So our average is way down here because we've been buying Bitcoin since last week. Okay. But today's buy price is going to be like right here. So let's see. I'm going to copy this guy. Put it there for now. Let's say 267.70. 267.73. Make the actual purchase over here. Add to this. Oh, sorry, 276.80. One second. Mess it up. Oh, I didn't. 276.8. $5. Yesterday we were a little bit short, so we're gonna do 5 and $5.25 because yesterday we're a little bit short. Let's see how it goes. Did it come back up? Push this out a little bit. 27.86. Oh, we're going for it. 7.689. So let's change this one. 27 purchased, and this is the 30th, and we bought how much? 27. Oh, they made it 68849. 8.9. We bought how much? 9.98. 4.98 cents. So 4.98. 98. That gives us here. Oh, switch screens. We're going to go to update our sheet. Here we go. 498. 3 at 7 683 6. We bought $4.98. We got how many satoshis for that? We got 1,800 satoshis. 4.0018. That translates to 18,000 sats. And we are now at $50.66. And our average has to move now. So our average moved from 26, moved to 26,890. Our average before was so 26,801. 26. But our average is moving up because 26,801. Because now this is our old average, and our new average is going to be 26,890. 26,890. Didn't move up that much. Oh, it kind of did. So we're moving. Our average is moving up. That's why we're only buying $5 worth when it's more expensive. When it gets cheaper and it's below our average, we're going to buy twice as much. So $10 instead of $5 each day. All right. So that. Back to browser. Okay. That puts us back in sync. Yep. Okay. So BTC price right now is $27,679. And our stack is growing. We are at 188,000 satoshis, which is equivalent to about $52.04. And it only cost us $50.66. So we got about $1 gain or something, $2, maybe, no, a little bit over $1 gain, right? But it's not important. What's more important is to keep stacking sats, because we're not in this for the short term, we're in this for the long term. Okay. We're trying to prove the thesis here that slow and steady saving in Bitcoin will, in the long run, equate to a bigger, because the dollar is inflating so fast, the value you exclude from that inflation by putting in Bitcoin relative to a dollar, it's going to seem like it's increasing, but it's not increasing. It's just that the dollar is losing power. Every time they raise a debt ceiling, every time the Republicans or the Democrats spend, and they all spend, right? They all spend. So every time they spend, every time they approve something, every time they bail out a bank, every time they give a line of credit to a bank to bail them out or to backstop them, whatever they want to call it, that increases the money supply. And as the money supply increases, your cut of that money supply doesn't increase, but the whole pie increases. So relative to the whole pie, you have less purchasing power. Okay. That is the whole point of this show, is to get you to understand that. Okay. If you have any questions, put them in the chat and I will answer those in the Q&A section. Okay. All right. So that was, did we actually do the buy we stack? We did the stack stats. Okay, here we go. Now we got stack stats. Boom, stack stats segment. I forgot to do that earlier. Oh, there we go. We stacked the sats, did a stack recap, and then we stacked sats. There it is. We are up to date. Our Satoshi's stack is strong. 188,000 Satoshis is not a lot, guys. $50. We've put in about $50 in the past. Since what? Since the 22nd. Okay. So it's not a lot of money. We spend $5 on, it's hard to get anything that these days for $5 anyway, right? I don't even think a Starbucks coffee, like anything other than a black coffee, is gonna be under $5. I don't know. I'm gonna go buy a Starbucks this week and bring my receipt So I can show you guys what a cold brew iced coffee with 2 shots of cream tastes like. I mean, what no, it tastes like, but how much it costs. And then you could say, instead of buying a coffee every day, brew it at home and save some and buy some Satoshis. Okay. All right. What do we have here? I think that's all I got for you guys. Let me see if I could turn on some jams. Let's hope those aren't too loud. All right. Any questions? Put them in the chat. Otherwise, I appreciate you guys being here. We're going to wrap up the show, but then I'm going to leave some space at the end after the credits for Q&A. So stick around if you have any questions. If you want to just banter around, put it in the chat, and have a couple minutes to hang out after the show. So with that said, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of this show. Thanks for helping me bump up those numbers. And like Nate Dogg once said, hey, 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 stack sats every day. All right, good. Fake, psych. You thought I was over, Brian? Yeah, Brian, let's do this. I'm trying to show this stuff to like my family and like my friends, and I feel like a maniac. I feel like a wild person trying to explain to them why Bitcoin is important and how they should at least try to save a little bit of their. If they could think of it as insurance against the dollar. Think about it. All these banks. Look at the debt we're in, right? As a country, like we're pretty much insolvent, right? They got to keep raising the debt ceiling just to make enough money to be able to pay back the interest on the money we borrowed. Like we'll never be able to produce enough to make enough to pay back the debt, national debt, right? So it's pretty much like a zombie economy. It's already dead. It's just every time they bump up it's already dead. Why would you want to? And like Leonard and Carl, we play like Call of Duty, right? And there's that. I tried to explain today on our Discord about like capture the flag or whatever it's called. Control. No, not control. Hardpoint. Where like everybody's trying to dominate this one flag, and everybody's trying to dominate that one flag, and then it's on a timer. And after a certain amount of time goes by, you got to jump in. You pretty much, if you're holding that position, you kind of just give it up and start making your way towards the new position, because you know that spending more time or spending another life trying to defend that position is going to be worthless, because the other position is about to go online, and so that one's going to be worthless, right? That's kind of what's happening with the dollar system at this point. Like it's under attack from like the BRICS nations, right? Those countries are trying to settle their debts using their own currency, right? Using like trying to figure out how they can trade without using the dollar as a currency of exchange, right? So once that happens, that's pressure that's outside of Bitcoin. Has nothing to do with Bitcoin, but it is helping Bitcoin in the long term, because it's making the Bitcoin hypothesis come true faster, right? So you have that. You have money that you can't trust. You have money that steals from you. So it's just a matter of more people understanding that concept. And once more people understand that concept, it's good. You know, like some of that value will be transferred into Bitcoin, and then that's going to make all of Bitcoin go up anyway. But what I'm trying to get at here is we are so early in this thing, in this Bitcoin, that anybody, like, I feel like you hear a Bitcoin story of like, oh yeah, like I remember when Bitcoin was like $2 or like people that just kind of like the guy that paid like pizza, right? Like the guy that paid like however many Bitcoin for two pizzas. You think back and like, wow, that's crazy. Like that story was only like what, like was it 10 years? I don't know. And well, Bitcoin was what came out in like 2009, right? 2008. So if you think about it, it's not that long. It's not that long ago, right? It's not that long ago when Bitcoin was only worth however much, right? If we look at the chart, right? Let's see here. Let's go back in time, boys. Let's set this to weekly. And that's all of Bitcoin right there. That's all the history of Bitcoin right there. This line I think is just like a typo. Like a right. Look at 2019. Well, it goes beyond 2019, but this is where this chart starts. Let me see if I can find another chart that's like older. With this one. There we go. There it is. 2000. This one starts at 2015 when it got listed on an exchange, right? 2015. This is a scary spike. This is like the all-time high was what? 28, 29, 27,000, no, $67,000, right? But it's never, I don't think it's ever going to go back to zero. So all this is like where we're at right now compared to the whole shebang, right? And I think I've shown you guys this chart before, but this is the, right? It's just like, there's so much potential there. The potential for loss is this, right? So I mean, it's still potential. If it were ever to go to zero, I doubt, right? So zero, you could lose 100% of what you put in. But if it doesn't go to zero and it just goes back up to where it was before, just if it goes even back to normal, like you can 150% your money, right? But then once you start getting into Bitcoin, you start to realize that it's not about doubling your money, because if you buy Bitcoin here and you sell it up here, you're still selling it into dollars. And those are still going to devalue. Just like these dollars devalued back here, they're going to devalue even more over there. Like you'll get more dollars, but you won't want them because they're going to devalue so fast anyway, right? Here's the money supply, guys. We looked at this before. Just a little recap. Save your value. So your value or your money divided by infinity, because they're going to keep printing money, right? Let me get rid of this stuff. Right, we get rid of your, look at that. This is 2000 right here. 2000. There was $4.75 trillion in existence, right? That's how much money there was, right? And then you in the next, so from 4 trillion, let's go to like, we'll say 5 trillion, 4 trillion, right? We'll start here. 95 or 4 trillion right here. So in 99, $4 trillion of existence were in existence, and then you bump it up to 8 trillion right there. In like 10 years, we doubled the amount of money in the world. That means in those 10 years, if we had a true accurate way of reflecting inflation, of seeing inflation, you would see that your money was worth half as much. The stuff that cost you $100 in 2002 was going to cost you what, $200 in 2008. Right? Insane. There it is. And then like, or like if you bought a house, if your house cost you a certain amount in 1996, right? When it was at 3.76 trillion, what, that's 6.7 trillion. Then it would look to you as if your house went up in value, but it's not that your house went up in value. Your house is still a house. What went down in value was the dollars it took to buy that same house. So as the value of your home goes up, don't think of it as the value of your home going up. Think of the dollar value going down. You're measuring the dollar with your home, not measuring your home with a dollar. Okay. So Same thing we're doing with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is measuring the price. Bitcoin is measuring the strength of the dollar, and as the strength of the dollar goes down, it takes more dollars to buy that same amount of Bitcoin. Same thing with real estate. It takes the same amount of dollars, takes more dollars in the future to buy the same real estate because the value of money, the purchasing power of money is going down. Okay. So that is the main point. A little bit extra right there. Thanks for tuning in, guys. If you're in here, shout out. Do me a favor, hit that like button and click and type stacked into the chat so I know you hit that like button so we can stack those likes. Stack likes. And oh yeah, I thought that was the end of the show. All right, guys, tune in tomorrow. We'll be back here at around 8:15. Sorry, about between 8:15 and 8:30. We have a show tomorrow on a different channel, and then I'll be stacking more sats. I'll be stacking depends, $5 or $10, and we're gonna keep the show going Monday through Friday, and see how it progresses. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and thanks again for all the support. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Later.